Hi, everyone. It's Thursday evening. It's region weather meteorologist Matt Wintz. We're a little bit later tonight than usual, so I either am sorry or you're welcome based on the time that you like to watch these. But I know a lot of you like to catch it on the stream a little bit later on in the evening, and that's okay too. Information won't change unless you're watching this next Thursday. Then it might be a little bit different. A lot to cover here tonight. We're going to make this kind of quick, but we've got obviously the snow outside now. We've got the cold that's in place now. So what happens next week? That's what I want to focus on because we've got some really interesting solutions in the models still. We'll take you through those. We'll get you all set up for success for your Christmas. I'll let you know what I'm watching in terms of models changing over the next couple days compared to what they say right now. But a lot to cover as we've got a very busy pattern around here. We'll do it all here after we run our intro video on this Thursday evening edition of Region Weather Live. And welcome in, everybody. Can you guys hear the music on that intro video? Can you? Susie's saying, "Tell me something good, Mr. Matt." Hi, Garfield. Hi, Jeff. Hi, John Z. Thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. Sarah, hello to you. Can you guys hear that music okay? Because I think, okay, you can't. I think since I got a new microphone, remember I was shouting at the microphone last time, I think it takes my audio away. So for whatever that's worth. Guys, want to thank our sponsors, Ewing Residential Services, HVAC services you can trust. They get you the best deals in Northwest Indiana you can possibly imagine, and they're a family-owned business as well. TigerPlumbing.net, they are our favorite plumbers. They're region weather sponsors for almost a year now. Just a wonderful group of folks here in the region. It's tigerplumbing.net. If you have any plumbing problems whatsoever, something's dripping, just call them, okay? If you want to get out of the region during the snow and cold, Discovery Travel is a good place to go to. They'll plan anything in your trip that you possibly want, whether it be everything or just a little bit. If you want them to look for flights, they'll do that. Your Northwest Indiana travel agency, it's Discovery Travel, TRVL.com, also on Facebook. Finally, Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. They're our favorite Jeep company in the whole entire region, and they're wonderful in Valparaiso area. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Pay them a visit if you're looking for some four-wheel drive. All right, Jan, thank you for that update on the music being great. Let's get into the map, shall we? Here's what we're dealing with now. Can you believe this is the same storm system that we were dealing with on Saturday night? This is the same storm. It hit the West Coast on Saturday night. It's taken all week long to go across the country. And look, it takes up 3/4 of the country right now. This is the same one that brought the tornadoes to the south, the blizzard that's still ongoing up in the Dakotas. But here's your storms out towards the east. That part of it is gone. New England's getting hit pretty hard with some ice and snow right now. But for us, we deal with the swirl. And you notice how the actual low pressure isn't moving east. It's moving off towards the west. That means it's going to stick around a little bit longer. So this is what we're dealing with right now. This is what we'll be dealing with this weekend, is this swirl of cold and occasional snow showers. We've had some pretty decent snow showers out there this evening. We turned wintry for a lot of us. And that's going to be the case as we go throughout the weekend, just these on and off again snow showers. So I'll show you what I mean. In terms of visibility, this was earlier tonight as that snow moved through. Look how the visibility dropped. I mean, we had visibility down to under a mile at times with some of the heavier bursts of snow, most of that out towards the east now, and we've got improving visibility. But in terms of where we go from here, at least in the short term, models picked up on that snow that moved through pretty well earlier. We still have some scattered snow showers out there, but here's your low off towards the north. This is tomorrow during the day. We have more snow showers around. It's not a constant snow. It's more, again, showery in nature. So it'll snow and then it's done, and then it'll snow, then it's done. Some of these have a little convective element to them, so they could produce some heavier snow briefly, and it doesn't take much. It really doesn't. A little coating ought to do it to screw up some travel issues or screw up area travel. So that's something we'll keep an eye on. We're not expecting a lot in terms of accumulation. We haven't been over the last week and a half. But again, it's wintry outside, right? You know that. And temperature is going to stay pretty steady, if not falling tomorrow. Tomorrow night, still some snow showers around. You can see this low is still here. It finally starts to move east on Saturday, so get some legs on it. We're still going to have some scattered snow showers around here Saturday during the day. Lake effect should be a little bit better organized. If you're heading up 94 into Michigan this weekend, there's going to be a little bit heavier snow up there. That's where the real accumulations are going to be with this. Again, not a huge event for them either, but it will be snowy, and we haven't had this in a while. Eventually, we start to clear this stuff out on Sunday as drier air comes in. In terms of snow cover right now, this is who has snow on the ground and how much, at least compared to or what the computer model is saying, which is pretty accurate. A couple numbers are a little off. But up towards Duluth, those are the big winners with this storm system. Northern Wisconsin got buried in this, anywhere from a half a foot to a foot and a half in spots. Areas of the Dakotas picked upwards of 30 inches of snow. The mountains out west obviously got buried from this. But you notice not a lot here locally. We've got some totals starting to come in the Chicago area from that snow tonight. And obviously we have a little coating here as well. The model probably about 2-3 hours behind. But overall, we're starting to lay down that snow in the Midwest, and that helps cold air to slide across it. So why do I tell you that? Well, we've got some real cold air still slated for next week. We laid the foundation of manageable cold right now. We're going to be in the 30s and then eventually the 20s for highs this weekend. So that's cold. That's wintertime cold, right? But later next week, there's some very cold air in Siberia right now. They've got temperatures minus 20, minus 30, minus 40, and even minus 50, okay, which is cold for them. That air is going to unlock, head into Alaska over the weekend in the early half of next week, and then it unloads and comes south. It comes screaming into the U.S. And again, we've talked about this. Isn't a surprise for those of you that have been listening to our Region Weather Lives. We've been highlighting this since Sunday now. And this looks to happen sometime Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this next week. Okay, so a week from today still. We're still about 7 days out. But what happens with that is as that cold air comes in, we're still pretty locked in on the fact we're going to have an Arctic air kind of Christmas around here, okay? I don't think that's going to change. It's going to be very cold. What we're not locked in on yet, but we have some better ideas of what's going to happen, is how that spins up a storm system and who gets some snow versus some snow, okay? So let me show you the latest. So this is actually not the latest, and I want to show you this first because I have a point to make. This is the Euro model from earlier today, 12Z. So this came out this afternoon. This is usually the most accurate in terms of the modeling because it factors in all new raw data. Okay, it's not relying on the models in front of it like the 18Z does. Okay, so here we go. Here's your weekend. This is Friday into Saturday. Notice the snow's still hanging off toward north. Again, most of it up in Michigan. I think we're going to even see some sunshine on Sunday. Not a bad day. Eventually, the lake snow winds down. This is kind of the new element right here that we've been watching in the modeling. There's some kind of disturbance that comes by from west to east Tuesday into Wednesday. It may produce some icing down to the south. For us, we may get a little hit of snow out of this. It just depends on how it comes together. The Euro doesn't phase it together. It keeps two separate entities. So we have this area of snow that goes by the north, area of rain to the south, and you can see how it kind of tries to come together out towards the east. It's actually off the map. But we'll have to watch that. You can see how it kind of scoots by. That would be Tuesday and the Wednesday, something to watch. We'll put it on our watch list. But here comes the cold air. So we're now up to Thursday, December 22nd. That Arctic air screaming into the U.S. Temperature drops would go from 30 to 0 in a hurry out in the plains, and then it'd be below 0 behind that. But out ahead of that, it's got some Pacific moisture to it. And normally systems that come out of Canada, northern Canada, don't have a lot of moisture, right? Because there's not a lot of humidity up there. There's no real moisture source outside of the Pacific, and they usually take their time. This one's coming directly from the Pacific Ocean, so it's still got some moisture content with it, kind of like a stronger Alberta Clipper if you've been around long enough. But what this is going to do on Thursday, it looks to bring us a widespread area, not just us, but a widespread area of the Midwest, a decent light to moderate, even at times heavy snow that would go through on the Arctic front. It would likely have strong winds with it as it moves through, and your temperature is going to crash on the backside of it, okay? That's what it looks like to me right now. Again, we're 7 days away from this. There's plenty of time for the models to kind of adjust with this, but we're beginning to get an idea of what this is going to look like as we go forward Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which is Christmas Eve next week, okay? So the Euro likes to take that system as this cold air and this powerful jet streams diving into near Tennessee. That's going to spin up a storm system on the northern end. So this is now Thursday night into Friday. This is Friday into Saturday. And you notice what's happened. the bulk of the snow with the systems out east, but we've got real cold air coming across the lake, still moisture in place, and a wind that's coming out of the north-northwest. So that means lake effect snow. And this would be widespread lake snow, not just for Porter and LaPorte counties, but like Lake County as well, and maybe even down into Stark County, Newton, and Jasper. Okay. That's the signal I'm getting from this, that we'd have good lake snow around here Friday, and that would continue into Saturday as this cold air comes in. Here's Christmas Day, lingering lake snow, but starting to wind down. This would all be enough to put snow on the ground and give us our white Christmas that we've kind of been hinting at for a little while. Okay. Still not guaranteed yet. All right. So why do I show you that? So that's the solution right there. This forms a monster storm off the East Coast. So travel is going to be crippled in terms of airport delays and all that up and down the East Coast, if that's the case. So I want to show you the GFS. Okay. This is the American model. I'm going to show you the 12Z from earlier, because this didn't have that. Okay. This has a little bit more with that Tuesday, Wednesday system that could bring us some snow. But it doesn't have that system on Thursday and Friday. It dives energy further to the south, so it doesn't develop quick enough. So look at this. This is the American model. This is Thursday, some light snow, maybe some lake effect, but then it develops it way down here, down in the deep south. Wouldn't that be something for them to have heavy snow in Atlanta and Charlotte for Christmas? But notice for us, it doesn't do much. We have some lake snow because it's going to be cold enough. We can almost guarantee the cold right now. That pattern recognition's locked in. But in terms of the system, it doesn't look like much on Saturday. And then you can see Sunday, yeah, we're staying cold, but there's not a lot of snow. Okay. That was the 12Z American model. The reason why I showed you the Euro, because I always like the Euro, I like the solution it developed. The reason why I show you the GFS is because it's not really handling it too well right now. However, things changed when the latest model run came out with that, and it's more in line with the Euro, which tells me that things are starting to converge on a solution for this. So this is the 18Z GFS. Here's our snow on Tuesday into Wednesday. Again, we're going to have to watch that. That could be a quick 1 to 2 incher, all right? And it just depends on how these phase. So that's not set in stone yet, but we could get a little clipper system in here on Tuesday. So that goes by. Here comes our cold air. This is the latest GFS. Remember, it took it way far south, just 6 hours prior to this. Notice how it's starting to latch on to a further north solution where this cold air dives in, low pressure spins up further to the north. That would bring us some snow on Thursday. That would bring us some heavier lake effect snow on Friday as the system really takes shape out east. And then it has a very similar solution to the Euro, and that we're still getting lake snow on Christmas Eve, and then maybe a little bit leftover lake snow on Christmas Day itself. Okay. So because those two are coming into agreement, we'll see what tomorrow does. They could split again for a couple days, as models tend to do, but because they're coming in agreement, that gives us something to kind of lock in on as a possible solution next week, all of which keep us on the colder side of things. The Euro, if you remember 2 days ago, was bringing some rain in here briefly before it changed to ice and snow. That solution's gone. I don't see that happening. I think we're going to be cold enough to support all snow next week. But the question is, how heavy is it? Do we get a widespread something for everyone snow with a storm system? Or are we dealing with lake effect snow, which we know can be pretty fickle? That would probably target Porter and LaPorte County, but can't rule out Lake County with that, with some of the heavier banding. And we'd have to watch where that low goes out east, because that would determine where our lake effect bands go. Okay. So last thing I want to show you, I'll open it up to some brief questions, and I got to get going because I have a newscast in 9 minutes. But I want to show you the snow here in terms of snow totals. Just to throw out some numbers. Okay, we're not going to look at these numbers and say we're going to get that much snow. We're going to look at it in terms of trends. So here's the latest GFS, and this is Christmas Day. Okay, this is good. I mean, this is a good 3, 6, 7 inches of snow in our snow belt. Lesser amounts down towards Newton, Jasper, Stark counties, but still snow on the ground. That would give us a white Christmas with the latest GFS. Here's the latest Euro, not that one, this one, and we're going to take it all the way up to Christmas. And you can see the Euro has pretty good snow around here. That's got a good 4 to 8 inches, upwards of a foot in LaPorte County, and then down to the south, lesser amounts, 2 to 4, maybe down in our southern counties. But these are the solutions that the models are putting out right now. And again, we are a week away, so we're not going to look at these numbers and say that's how much we're going to get, and then you don't tune in to Region Weather Lives until Christmas Day, okay, and wonder where your snow is. But the solutions show that we're pretty locked into not just a cold pattern, but some kind of snowy pattern as well. So it is looking like this year we're going to get a white Christmas. All right, so there you go. That's my presentation. Susie says, as long as it isn't 77 inches, I'm okay with it. Mark, great point. Models are finicky, especially when they're not fed. That's right. That's awesome. And that's okay if your internet's not working. Alexis is lucky enough to be going to Tampa in the afternoon on the 22nd. That might be tricky, Alexis, with the weather system that's going to impact the eastern half of the country. There's going to be a lot of wind with this too, and temperature is going to come way down. Let me just briefly show you temperatures with this. This is what we're looking at. Here's your Arctic front right here. So this is Friday, below zero. Highs would probably be 1-2 degrees, says the Euro. And then on Saturday, Christmas Eve, we're talking around 10 degrees. And then Christmas Day, probably 12 or so. It looks like the cold air will start to evade a little bit. And then the GFS, pretty similar in that. I mean, this is some really cold air. This is cold for January. It's cold for us in general. So you can see that Arctic front comes in. There you go. This has Christmas Eve. The GFS says 1 degree for a high. And then a little bit warmer. There's your 10 or 12 on Christmas Day. So again, that cold air is locked in. The snow is not quite locked in yet, okay? Maxwell, it's interesting. Yeah, this pattern looks to stick around at least through the end of the year. So we're going to hold our snow at least through the end of the year as of right now. January, a little tough to tell because we can't, tell you next week. So we'll see. Hi, Debbie. Thanks for joining us. Oh, that's okay. Jessica, Ricky Westfall, school snow days. Perhaps it depends on the track of that, but lake effect could certainly be a thing for sure. Okay. All right. I got to get going, guys. I appreciate you joining me. We'll do this again tomorrow night. We'll do a special edition just to check up on the modeling since we're getting kind of close to it. We'll do a Region Weather Live tomorrow night. We'll do another one on Sunday as we typically do. And then we'll keep you updated next week for sure. We'll probably do some special chit chats as well. Okay. Have a great night. Get some sleep. And we'll let those models continue to figure themselves out. All right. Thanks.